With all the different types of videos all across YouTube, there's always been a few select demographics with key players in all of them. However, there's one genre which I believe to be the most fascinating and in-depth than almost any other on the platform. One that's been growing in the shadows for almost 2 decades now, and that, of course, would be plush tubers.
You could come back in like 30 more seconds.
Plush tubers, for those who don't know, are channels that film themselves controlling stuffed animals or puppets to create their own series or franchises out of their own imaginations. On paper, it's quite possibly the simplest type of video you can ever make. Well, besides just sitting in a box in the corner of the screen while watching a movie trailer or something. I mean, on paper, pretty much anyone can make their own plush video. It requires 0 editing, a Sonic plush or something, and just some random plot or adventure out of your own head. Now, whether to say it'll be of any quality is up for debate, but the point still stands. Literally everybody on planet Earth has played with toys once in their life, so this is pretty much just recording that and making it into a YouTube video. And because of that, this genre has existed all the way back since 2006. And because of how long and in-depth the history of these channels are, I think it's time someone should go through the history of every single one of them. Okay, well maybe not every single one of them, but the big players throughout the history of the genre. So strap in, get comfy, and let's go into the chaotic world of plush tubers. So as I said, the genre started all the way back in 2006, and it was pioneered by the one, the only, cute Mario Bros. Now, personally, I'm not gonna act like I'm some mega fan of them. I'm gonna be real, I've barely watched any of their videos, for reasons we'll get to later. However, their story goes a little something like this. Creators of the channel, Kenny and Tyler, met in 5th grade, and after Tyler's older brother introduced the two to a brand new site called YouTube, via an absolutely iconic video simply titled Meow Mix Cell, after this, Tyler created his own channel called Luigi Mario 122, and created what's possibly the first ever plush video ever made, being Super Spy Luigi Episode 1 Get the Glasses at the age of 12. However, after this, Kenny made a channel which was first called Mario 8989, where he would upload very similar content, often featuring Tyler as well. However, finally in 2007, the video Find Yoshi was uploaded, and officially turned the channel into what it is today, Cute Mario Bros. They would continue to post very similar content for a while, and introducing non-Mario characters like Woody, Steamboat Willie, who they stole from me by the way, Kermit, Jack Skellington, and many others. These old videos are just so charming to watch, just kids playing with their toys and recording it. It's the most simple and innocent thing that could have been on YouTube at the time, and it shows. And since they started off so early, you can really see their improvement from over the years. From a random kid with a camcorder in the mid-2000s to a pretty well-made internet show with its own original theme song, animated intro, and everything. But over the years, they grew a very loyal and steady fan base that was always excited to see what was next. They even had a mail time segment where people could send in stuff for them to look at, and when people are sending you free stuff in the mail, you know you made it big.
Hooray! Coyote urine!
And like I said, their production quality has only gone up, and it's to the point where they even had their own original plushes specifically made for their videos. Despite that, they kept using all the same OG characters that they made, despite the fact that Mario was still a PVC figure and Luigi was the Mario Party 5 plush. It's just hilarious and so charming. It's very clear that they really went above and beyond to show how much they really did care about what they were making. However, if any of you are fans of them, you'll know that they're no longer creating content. In 2020, the two retired from plush videos after a solid 14-year-long career, and it wasn't even sad or anything. The two just wanted to move on from plush videos, which is totally understandable after 14 years of moving around a Mario toy. They truly did leave an impact that'll be felt for many decades, with many feeling nostalgic for their own videos and reminiscing on the fact that some of them are actually lost media nowadays. But maybe someday they can be uncovered, who knows. I bid them adieu and hope at nothing but success in their futures. Oh yeah, and as for their, actual content, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I grew up with it and have encyclopedic knowledge of their videos. However, I do have one interesting story about them. So back in 2020, when I was still but a simpleton in the ways of Sonic collecting, the thing that everyone does hate about this figure are the arms, because
don't let your kids watch it!
I was doing my routine eBay Sonic plush newly listed search refresh, to where I stumbled upon this plush. I had no idea what I was looking at, and I was so unbelievably baffled by it, considering it was clearly a plush of the original movie Sonic. But as it turns out, this was a custom plush created for the Cute Mario Bros channel, as back when they decided to quit making videos, they actually auctioned off most of their plushes, except for the main cast of course. And they did so on eBay so that all their fans could have a piece of their history. What an absolutely giga-chad move. I remember I was so enamored by this listing, I messaged Azure Blaze, aka the runner of Sonic Gear, and I had him add this to his website. So that's why it says discovered by Bulba Squirtle when it says how to spot fake merchandise on page 34. It's actually sort of interesting because this plush ended up being bought by a fellow Sonic plush YouTuber, Sonic Whacker55, so I guess all's well that ends well. However, after them we get to a channel A channel which is undoubtedly the biggest Plush channel on the entire website, a channel that is more iconic and infamous than any other Plush channel, I am afraid, and I am of course referring to the turbulent tale that is Super Mario Logan. Now for those who don't know, Super Mario Logan is very similar to Cute Mario Bros. Both use, or at least used, Nintendo toys or plushes in order to tell their stories, with a few other licensed characters thrown in for good measure. They both started out making videos around the same time as children in the mid-2000s, and creating their own universes of characters that they're super passionate about. However, there's one key difference between Cute Mario Bros. And SML. So here's your average Cute Mario Bros. Video moment.
Why are you reading the comic? You can just watch the show on TV.
Mario, sometimes, you just kind of want to just relax, by yourself and unwind with a nice, quiet book individually.
And here's your average SML video moment.
That's it, Jimmy! You're done! You're so done!
Can I get the game now, Dad?
Oh, you're about to get something!
What are you doing? Ow! Ow! Are you fucking high? Ow, Dad, go!
You're the baddest!
So as I said, Super Mario Logan started back in the mid-2000s, on December 8th of 2007, where Logan 30acre reenacted the Super Mario Got Milk commercial using his BDNA Winged Mario plush from Mario 64. And ever since then, Logan has had a complete fascination for video creation. He would get his friends as well as his brother to film videos like Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventures, and would constantly add new characters that would become fan favorites like Woody, Shrek, or Black Yoshi. However, while Logan was steadily gaining a huge subscriber count and loyal fan base, at least for YouTube at the time, Logan was going through several different major health issues. He had to be on a feeding tube, be completely bedridden, and go through an extremely risky surgery to improve his condition. And before Logan went into his surgery, he uploaded Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventures Season 2, Episode 11, which ended with Mario going through a time loop where if Logan were to make it out of the surgery, he could continue the series. And if Logan didn't make it out, it would serve as an ending to the series. However, Logan made it out and dedicated every hour to his life to making content. He invested a lot of time and money into his videos to add new characters like Chef PP, Brooklyn Guy, and many others, which spread Logan apart from the other Nintendo channels, and made his really seem like its own universe. However, no character was more popular at this point than Bowser Jr., who quickly took over the entire channel and pretty much engulfed any other character's spotlight. The show had really found its footing at this point. Junior wants something or wants to go somewhere. Chef Pee-Pee's forced to help him because Bowser's mean and forces Chef Pee-Pee to do stuff.
Can I get a chicken nugget Happy Meal with a toy for this little bastard, please?
And maybe every now and then you'll see Mario or some older character show up. Eventually though, Logan moved out of his parents' house and into his own apartment, where he of course made a whole video explaining how the house apparently burned down for all the characters and now they needed to go somewhere else. And while he was in this apartment, he made what is quite frankly the most iconic and infamous plush video on the face of the internet. That, of course, being Mario the Babysitter in 2016, which of course introduced...
Hey, you want to see my banjo?
Unlike the Junior fans watching the videos, who took over the entire channel's fan base in over a year, I'd say, it only took a few months for the entire channel's fan base to be engulfed with Jeffy fans, which is extremely ironic considering that Jeffy was meant to be a one-off character. But once Jeffy grew so popular, there was no going back. The younger crowd that had watched Logan's videos were absolutely enamored by him, leading to him being pretty much the secondary mascot to the channel alongside Junior. And in a lot of ways, he even surpassed Junior in popularity. And this is the point where the channel really changed from a guy and his friends making plush videos on the internet to appearing on Good Morning America. After Jeffy was introduced, he became an icon for parents thinking that YouTube was evil and corrupting the youth of children. Kids would imitate Jeffy both in school and at home, and this led to, supposedly, and I want to say supposedly because there's never actually been direct proof of this, a child supposedly tied a fall asleep rope and nearly Control-Z'd out of existence after imitating Jeffy from the video Jeffy's Tantrum, where Jeffy attempts to use said rope in order to do something bad to himself because Mario won't buy him a $2.99 SpongeBob Apple App Store game. And Logan's entire channel was demonetized in 2017, which led him to move channels not once but twice. And after a few more years of media hijinks, like Logan accidentally shutting down an entire street in New York City when he overnight, literally just on a whim, said he's gonna be at the Nintendo store in New York City, which led to an absolute tidal wave of Logan fans. You wanna know a really fun story? I actually found this exact Bowser plush on Facebook Marketplace once. I'm not joking. If I think I still have the picture of it, somewhere. Here's a picture of it. I literally found the exact thing. It was already sold, but you know I would have bought it, but god damn it. And a few years later, Logan proposed to his girlfriend Chile on a Jason Derulo concert, on stage for everyone to see. However, Logan and his now fiancé would break up over cheating allegations. as well as many other things like a failed partnership between a certain cupcake-yielding Eagles fan.
You know what I mean? This motherfucker is so goddamn fake, he literally has the word fake written in bold black Sharpie fucking marker written across his motherfucking pimple-infested goddamn forehead. You know what I mean?
It all culminated when Logan would end up getting a cease and desist from Nintendo themselves, stating that unless he wants to get sued, Logan would have to immediately stop using all Nintendo characters and properties on his channel. What this meant is Logan had to delete his entire original Super Mario Logan channel, which had nearly 9 million subscribers, as well as redesign almost every one of his characters to be an original design, with mixed results. And it all leads us to today, where of course I glossed over and simplified a lot of that backstory. I mean, I'm down to tell you all the 40-minute unabridged version off the top of my head, but you know, this video's gotta end sometime. So I'd highly recommend checking out Turkey Tom's video, as he does a really good job going over the entire story unbiasedly. I say that because a lot of people have it out for this man. However, let's actually move on to Logan's content now. So there's really 4 different eras of Logan videos you can talk about. We of course have the original / golden era, which is exactly what it sounds like, everything from the Mario Got Milk video all the way to Bowser Jr.'s Macaroni. Where Mario was the lead character, there were tons of different ongoing storylines, and it's the simplest and least controversial era. Then we of course get to the Junior era. It's sort of a mix of what we have now as well as the classic stuff. Our main character, Junior, is a spoiled brat, and yes, it can get very annoying sometimes. But at the same time, we all watched these videos when we were like 8 years old, so we all remember them fondly, I'd say. In fact, the first SML video I ever watched personally was Bowser Jr.'s Happy Meal.
Take me to McDonald's to get a Happy Meal! I want a Happy Meal! You better take me to McDonald's to get a Happy Meal!
However, this is of course where many iconic characters found their footing. Like I said, Chef PP, Brooklyn Guy, Jackie Chu, Joseph Cody, etc. And we had a lot of iconic videos from this era, like Shrek's Diet or Bowser Jr. Goes to Disney World Part 1 and 2. However, then moving on to the Jeffy era, which might very well be the longest era, being from Mario the Babysitter in 2016, all the way to Jeffy's new dad. It did take Jeffy a little bit to find his footing as a character, as Jeffy pretty much just started out as kind of just sitting there, doing some funny faces and visual gags, and that was kind of it. Except, of course, Jeffy's homework. We don't count Jeffy's homework in that.
Take the four off the f***ing corn!
At this point, Logan had really found the footing for how the scripts and the characters would interact, with more dimensions being added to their core characteristics and personalities. However, most of the videos from this era can be boiled down to one of 2 things. Jeffy doing something bad with Mario getting punished for it in the end, or Junior does / goes to / gets insert thing here. And according to the mathematical genius of Dab H Dude, he created the Junior Jeffy law, which said that any Junior era from this video would almost undoubtedly be made into a Jeffy video at some point. These videos aren't really as iconic as some other ones, however I still think they're pretty funny all things considered. And during this era, Logan moved into his own house, which he still uses today despite not actually living there anymore. He just uses it for filming. Imagine having an entire house as a prop. And since then, we've gotten some really iconic videos, like Jeffy's Tantrum or the various Christmas specials that are set in the house. And this finally brings us to SML in its modern incarnation, with the puppets. I mean, the designs were never gonna compare to the Nintendo characters, obviously, but I feel like they did a fine job at getting each character's personality across. And after them being around for a few years now, I don't know about anybody else, but I've personally warmed up to them. Or at the very least, I've accepted our loss.
Look, this is happening, so just come to peace with it.
And since Logan's been doing this for over 15 years now, he's really nailed how each video is set out, and he has some infinitely more creative video ideas than he used to. Instead of just, hey, here's a thing we're gonna plop Junior, Joseph, and Cody into, or here's a thing that Jeffy's gonna break or get Mario in trouble with. The videos have actually really great stories that fit into the characters really well now. And Logan even got around to finishing the SML movie, which was promised to come out all the way back in 2017. Which showcased how Logan is infinitely better prepared for huge spectacle scenes, like blowing up an entire van or a school bus. Just goes to show that after all this time, Logan still deeply cares about what he's putting out, and how this really is his passion. Logan made so much money from making videos that he could comfortably sit in his house with his new family and his rekindled relationship with Chile, but he still uploads 2 to 3 videos every single week, with creating brand new characters that aren't even based off anything, as well as being given the spotlight for more fan favorites like Brooklyn Guy and Chef PP, and overall he's been able to retain fans as well as get the older ones who had stopped watching years ago to come back. Logan truly is a story that no matter what you do, With enough hard work, you can really turn any aspect of your life around. And as you can see, I'm very well versed in my SML lore. And that's because if you couldn't have guessed by now, I've been watching SML since 2014. And I've followed every single one of these plot points in real time. We've truly come a long way, haven't we? So yeah, sorry if the SML section takes up a big chunk of this video, I just had so much to say on this. I mean, I've seen pretty much every goddamn video this man's put out in his entire career, so, you know. If anyone's gonna explain this for 10 minutes straight, it's gonna be me. But anyway, let's move on to something else. What about...
Help me! Oh yeah, yeah!
So now that we're finished with the Goliath that is SML, let's move on to someone else who's also forged countless childhoods. That, of course, being Goomzilla. And where else to start but with the Hood Classic, the iconic and absolute historic Bowser's Mushroom Factory. Uploaded on 10/10/2010 and spanning 10 minutes and 10 seconds, it's of course your very standard classic era plush video, with simple props and production value. However, the main difference between him and stuff like Cute Mario Bros or SML is that instead of doing a voiceover or voice acting, he simply uses Mario voice clips and quotes, which makes him much more unique when looking back on all these old camcorder videos. As for the actual plot, it's very simple. Bowser makes a mushroom factory, and Mario and Luigi got some enemies to get big because of the mushrooms, and Mario and Luigi stomp on the whole thing, and Bowser's sad. But the fact that it's so simple leads us to be one of the most classic Mario plush videos of all time. And given how he uses nothing but stuff from the source material, unlike Cute Mario Bros. And SML, kids like me at the time who were just getting into Mario ate this shit up. Plus, the video is just extremely creative. Like using stuff like Kinect's roller coaster pieces in order to make the whole mushroom factory aspect, as well as the bird cage to put Peach in. It's all very, very well done for the time. Which leads this video to having the absolutely deserved 83 million views that it has. And even beyond this, this guy's made a bunch of other classics, like Luigi the Prankster or the Mario's Quest series. But ever since that fateful day in 2010, he really hasn't changed his content really at all. What he had worked so well, he's been doing it for over a decade. He's still doing the same thing and raking in the views. I honestly have massive respect for the guy. Channels like this would have fallen off the face of the earth by now, but his videos are just so charming and simple that he can still gain a new audience, despite the fact that his old ones have grown up. He's done other stuff like custom plush tutorials and a new version of Mario's Quest that's set entirely in Minecraft. I remember following his custom Goomba plush tutorial years and years ago, and I still have it today. What a guy. Now that we're done with him though, there's a few other videos and channels I want to bring up, and I'm going to be doing them in more of a rapid fire way, since I'm not really going to be talking about the channels here, more just the specific videos. Since we're almost at 5 whole pages of just Mario plush videos and I want to get to something else. Firstly, we need to talk about 25 ways to kill Yoshi. This video is an absolute godsend. Created by Shoney Boy in 2011, it's exactly as it sounds. A video of a guy putting a Yoshi plush to the test. Specifically the Yoshi from this DS accessory pack that came with a Mario as well. However, the video itself includes the Yoshi being frozen, buried alive, lit on fire, beat up, run over, blended, etc. Yet another simple but hilariously done video that uses stock sound effects and all kinds of simple editing to create something truly iconic, yielding over 274 million views on his channel. And you know this video is a classic because he actually wrote out the word 25 instead of just putting a 2 and a 5. Ain't no way that get past the YouTube metagame nowadays. However, of course, we're not done here, as there's been many follow-up videos relating to even more ways to kill Yoshi in his cinematic universe. Firstly, there's More Ways to Kill Yoshi, which has much more cartoony and creative forms of destruction, like Yoshi getting beaten up by Bender from Futurama or being printed on a computer flat Stanley style. Then, of course, there's Ways to Kill Yoshi 3, which has much higher production quality as well as Big Yoshi, as well as various other videos featuring Yoshi in other ways. Truly a legacy to be remembered. After that, though, we've of course got to talk about Mario and Luigi Go to the Park. Created by that guy in the basement, it features 2 friends doing exactly as the title implies, controlling and voicing over Mario and Luigi as they have fun on the monkey bars, climbing walls, slide, etc. I think this video really sums up just how amazing and nostalgic videos from this era were. We all watched them as a kid, and this is just what kids do. We can imagine ourselves playing with Mario and stuff on a playground. I'd bet my bottom dollar that some kid said, "Hey mom, can we go to the park?" after watching this video, brought his Mario plush, and did it himself. These are videos that literally any of us could have made. It's just 2 kids in a park with their Mario Luigi plushes, but it makes it so nostalgic and so wholesome. It's pure childhood wonder just summed up into a video. And the channel in question has a ton of other videos like this, like Mario and Luigi in the desert, or Wario and Waluigi in the park. Truly awesome stuff that's going to be remembered forever, just like everything else I've mentioned. However, after that, I think we're finally done with Mario finally. There's of course been a bunch of channels like that I didn't mention, and I'm mainly not just for time's sake, so I pretty much just wanted to mention the heavy hitters and the biggest Plush channels and videos in terms of Mario. But now we're done with our little paisano. I think it's time we move on to the main focus of this channel, for the love of God, Sonic. Now, in terms of Sonic Plush tubers, it's almost as in-depth as Mario in a lot of aspects, and it goes back to around the same time, as thanks to a very well done deep dive by Brobius, we know that most likely the earliest Sonic Plush video ever uploaded to YouTube was by the one and only Sonic Toast, entitled Knuckles Wanted Brownies. Uploaded on December 20th, 2006, it's a minute and 36 seconds and features nothing but the Adventure Knuckles plush and the Cow Toy Details plush, explaining how Knuckles wants to eat brownies or something. Sonic Toast, of course, being one of the pillars of the Sonic collecting community, made this video with pretty much a non-existent budget. However, he inadvertently made history. Now, like I said though, this is just a theory. The scars aren't healing, man. I mean, it is possible that there's some random plush video from 2005 we don't know about. However, I tried doing some research into this myself and I couldn't find anything either. So I do believe this is probably it. Sonic Toast would eventually go on to make some other Sonic plush videos, mostly. And by that I mean he'd make his own puppets using modified Sonic plushes. They honestly don't even look half bad for what they are. He uses these for random skits or to show how to play a Sonic board game or something. And they would eventually go on to be used in a remake of Knuckles Wanted Brownies. It all goes full circle, I tell you what. However, now we've gotten past the first Sonic plush video, I think it's time we get on to who is easily the most iconic Sonic plush tuber. Who else but Spiny Pro. His first video was all the way back from 2009, and is the ultimate patient zero of the title Sonic Plush Adventures. See, you know how when you type in Sonic Plush into YouTube and do newest uploaded, it's just 5,000 4-year-olds with their mom's iPhone calling themselves Sonic Plush Adventures, and they have like the Jack Sonic plush with like a bandana on his head? Yeah, that's because of this guy. He coined that term back in 2009, goddammit. For reference, here's a list of other things that came out in 2009. But I'm sick and freaking tired of these kids nowadays having like 4K ass iPhone cameras to record their crappy Sonic plush videos. You know, back in my day, we had to live with our crusty 480p limit on our old videos. God, I'm old now. But anyway, as for Spiny Pro's actual videos, it's the same basic structure you've seen with these classic videos. Old friends or siblings playing together with their childhood Sonic plushies and making some goofy-ass stories out of it. However, like a lot of the other ones, they of course have so much charm, and are actually pretty funny a lot of the times, unironically. And something that's really neat about these is that when they had a character that didn't have an official plush, he would just use paper cutouts, which I find to be amazing since that's what we all did when we were kids too. I remember having a Mario hat and cutting out all different little fire flowers and mushrooms and putting it under it. But this just really gives it the iconic early Sonic plush video feel. However, he did stop uploading around 2015. However, he did make a comeback in 2020 for a limited time with the video Sonic Plush Adventures Chaotix, where it had completely custom-made Chaotix plushies which looked really good, and had them driving one of those little Tykes battery-controlled cars, and it's just amazing. Other than that, though, I have pretty much nothing else to say about these guys. They left their mark on the Sonic plush community, and we are in debt to them forever. So now with Spiny Pro out of the way, I think it's time we mention someone who's easily the biggest Sonic plush tuber nowadays. Who else am I speaking about but the one and only Supersonic Blake? But since I'm in an interesting position where I'm actually good friends with Blake, I thought let's just let him explain his backstory, uprising, and everything in between. So without any further ado, take it away, Blake.
Hey everyone, it's Blake from the SSB channel. Bulbasquirtle reached out to me to be a part of this video, so let's get right to it. I started making Sonic the Hedgehog plush videos all the way back in 2016 when killer clowns were threatening to kill us, white girls were dancing to Juju on that beat, and some kid named Daniel was back at it again with the white vans. In all seriousness, I started the Supersonic Blake channel on January 21st, 2016, being inspired by Sonic Song 182's own plush series as well as Sonic Toast's Sonic and Mario stop motions. They were both a big part of my childhood and I wanted to create my own stuff. So that I did. My origins were just me being a kid and wanting to make my own toy videos to fill the empty void I had as a child, being an only child with no friends at school, probably because I made YouTube videos about playing with Sonic toys. Jokes aside, I started the SSB videos alone, started filming mainly with my cousin Jesse, who used to voice Amy and Hattie at the time. Then came time for my cousin to leave to college, so that he did. Production on videos went immediately much slower because I had gotten used to a two-man team and didn't really know how to film as a one person. Some time passed and I worked a catering job for this girl I liked at the time because it was her family owned business full of nothing but women. Me being pretty tall, standing at 6'3", pretty strong, I was the perfect fit. Long story short, basically the man labor since the women were waitresses and they were either cooking or baking for the events. After 2 long days of working hard labor for the first time ever in my life, I ended up leaving early because I didn't want to do it anymore, as I only was gonna make about $80. The very next day, I filmed the SSB video, Night of the Werehog, which was an overnight success, sitting at 1.6 million views today, with that video also being the first video I made alone for the first time in a very long time. The video instantly got the channel monetized and I started making money, and it was all uphill from there. I learned to make videos on my own, thumbnails on my own, with my cousins and other people occasionally helping me throughout the years if really needed. The process of the videos was very simple. My cousin and I would text back and forth throughout the week, tossing around ideas of what to film, writing down jokes, with our film day being Friday night / all day Saturday if it was like a theme park video or someplace we had to go to. We would have fun and think of every line as we go. What inspired me to keep making videos mainly stemmed from me seeing my own potential in myself and the channel. I was never big on school, as I saw myself never working a corporate 9-to-5 job, and right around 2020 when the thing happened, I started uploading 2 to 3 videos every week and the channel skyrocketed. Thanks for listening to the story of the origins of the SSB channel. I hope you found some of it interesting, and big thanks to Bulbasquirtle for having me again.
Thank you, Blake, for that amazing insight into the world of plush tubing. And after that, I'd like to divert your attention to someone who's very close with someone who we talked about in depth, being, of course, Tito Chile. Being the brother of Chile, who's the fiance, girlfriend, wife, I don't even know anymore, of Logan himself, you'd think his videos would be pretty much identical to Logan's, just with Sonic. But no, they're really their own thing. Tito has a whole entire separate universe of characters that have nothing to do with Mario or anything else. And of course, he features Sonic, played by Tito, Chile, who plays Tails, as well as the other iconic character of Panda, Anthony, who plays Knuckles, and so on and so forth. As for the actual plushes, he uses a mix of the Sega Prize Europe plushes as well as GE. And overall, his videos are much faster paced and hectic than SML. As well, Tito will actually film in their new house that they all live in, which allows him to utilize stuff like the phone booth they have in their living room for some reason. And I really respect Tito and his channel, since most people would assume that he's just a lazy rehash of SML, just instead of Mario using Sonic. And I mean, he does reuse some of the puppets from SML here and there, and it's really unintentionally funny. Tito still uploads today and makes pretty good videos. Obviously, there's infinitely more history about Logan, but that's a story for another day. You get the idea though, Tito's a Chad. And now insert that fake-ass video of him sneaking into the SML house and Logan getting mad at him.
Tito, what are you doing? Get the f out! I gotta finish. I finished the video. I had to finish the video. You know you're not supposed to be here, Tito. I had to finish it. I had to finish it.
So after him, we find ourselves at kind of a crossroads. Well, yes, there are many, and I mean many other Sonic Plush channels out there, and I respect all of them and what they do. I really just don't have a lot to say about the other channels here. Like, for example, Sonic and Friends, a channel that's been around for almost a decade, and it's pretty much the same content format as all the other channels we looked at again. That's not a bad thing, and I'm not saying the content itself is poorly made or anything. It's just that after going over so many plush channels, I'm really just not left with that much to say about these other channels. Same thing with other people like Sonic Whacker, who's a very well-known person in the plush community. And while yes, this is a video talking about the history of plush channels, I could make an entire ass video based solely on Sonic. And plus, most of the information I'm talking about will probably just end up being regurgitated from things like Sonic Plush Rewind, which is a yearly recap with different Sonic Plush channels that Blake created, which features interviews and Q&As with several creators. So if you want to see more on these people, I'd highly recommend checking out Sonic Plush Rewind, since I'm not really in the mood to sit here for the next 20 minutes and explain why Sonic Meets Skibidi Toilet is an icon of the Sonic Plush community and to be honored as such. I mean, it is, but you get the idea. However, after that, there's one more type of Sonic Plush video I want to bring up, and that being the ones that are actually made by Sega. Since, as of 2024, there's actually been a handful of different videos made by Sega and other official companies that work with the Sonic license and have made actual plush videos in the same vein as everyone else we looked at. Like, for example, we could start with the iconic Sonic Adventure 1 commercial. I mean, yeah, technically this is a plush video. They are filming themselves pretending to be the characters and doing skits with them. And the word skit may not be entirely right to use here, considering that instead of, like, you know, Sonic goes to Dunkin' Donuts or something, we get Sonic getting thrown out of an F-22. I've always wondered whether they actually were able to find these plushes. I mean, I don't see why they would even try. Like, they probably had 50 more in a big Durlap sack at the Sega HQ. But you know, if you're ever hiking through wherever the hell they filmed this in some jungle, and you see a decaying, rotting Sonic Adventure 1 plush, You've really struck gold, Sonic collectors on their way to buy the maggot-infested Sonic Adventure 1 plush for 20 grand. But anyway, there's also, of course, the video where they're actually using them in a forest, instead of just, you know, throwing them out of an airplane. As well as some other ones, like the random social media posts they've done with stuff like Tomy plushes. I'm probably missing some, but you know, you get the idea. The more modern ones are sort of missing the charm and epicness of Jeffy Logan 30 Acre. And now, we're finally done with the two biggest franchises I wanted to talk about, being Mario and Sonic. There are, of course, a ton, and I mean a ton of other franchises that have very large plush video scenes. I mean, there's has been plush videos, fair enough. However, of course, this video can't be 15 hours long, so I'm gonna be limiting myself to one more channel I want to talk about. And where else to start but with what is undoubtedly the most iconic series besides Sonic and Mario. I'm of course talking about the extensive community of FNAF Plush Tube.
Did you have to spray that on my hotcakes?
Now, Fried Chili Cheese Dogs is a very in-depth channel. They have a huge history making all kinds of amazing skits and videos, and I'd highly recommend checking out Chazington's video going over the topic, as it goes much more in-depth into the actual creation of the channel. But for now, all you need to know is that there's a guy named Bobby and all of his friends and family who appear in these videos, and I'm going to be talking about one of his most iconic series. I think these videos can be summed up by one simple clip.
SpongeBob drones. This little pigeon is leaving the nest.
As for the actual videos, they're summed up to be infomercials about different SpongeBob products, coming in 4 parts, with the first one being SpongeBob cereal. I can't really say these fit in with other plush videos we've looked at, since they're much more of skits using SpongeBob plushies rather than actual plush videos with a story and characters and everything. But that doesn't mean I take them any less seriously. And with SpongeBob cereal, we have the characters explaining how absolutely astonishing it is, with so many awesome one-liners and character interactions that would never fly on Nickelodeon. I mean, the characters, like, have the same basic personalities, but goddamn, they are not the same characters. The cereal video isn't really that long, and it's much more of an introduction than anything. However, getting into the second video, SpongeBob Macaroni and a Cheese, this is where the lines become absolutely iconic. Almost every sentence from these videos is so ingrained into everybody who watched them as a kid. And plus, the production quality of these videos has really improved, with stuff like a fully custom-made Squidward's house, as well as the preservation of a certain joke from the first video that landed oh too well. Everbo, Mr. Squidward! And then moving into the third video, SpongeBob SquarePants Fruit Snacks, we get to the running joke of fruit as well as the increased amount of hijinks and insanity, with line delivery that becomes more unhinged. The music gets louder and it's overall just even more insane. And of course, how can we talk about this video without talking about the Great Fruit Race? As we all know, Squidward wants to get one of Patrick's fruits, but he doesn't have any money, so he goes and bets Mr. Krabs. The bet is to win something called the Great Fruit Race, which has Plankton, SpongeBob, and Patrick racing for the grand prize. And after Plankton is imploded by a rooftop sniper and Patrick wins the race, Squidward is winning the bet. But he can't open his prize.
Let me give her a squeeze, Mr. Squidward!
After that, though, we get to the grand finale. Quite possibly one of the greatest videos on the entire internet. As the title implies, SpongeBob SquarePants Everything is the ultimate climax to the entire series. It's the longest by far at over 9 minutes long, and it has an absolute buttload of skits that don't have any connection to the previous ones. Like, instead of having SpongeBob and Patrick talk about how great fruit is, we have things like Patrick making cookies and setting Squidward's house on fire, the SpongeBob sippy cup getting filled with boiled cabbage, Patrick getting encased in gelatin, Squidward's house being set on fire again via SpongeBob mouthwash, Patrick becoming a puddle, Squidward being thrown off of a roof, Patrick learning to fly, SpongeBob drawstring bag full of boiled cabbage, SpongeBob pinata being blown up with a firework, Squidward's house being lit on fire via a Patrick candle, the lifeguard's hotcakes being infested with SpongeBob furniture polish, and of course the iconic ending to Have a Bowl, Mr. Squidward, with such crazy things as Squidward getting swole, Squidward paying the toll, Squidward scoring a goal, Squidward digging a hole, Squidward whacking a mole, and it all comes together when it turns out Plankton was the one creating this all along, creating all the SpongeBob products to take over the world. But they all end up okay and the day is saved thanks to them all becoming the bestest of friends. This video is so iconic that on Twitter, I quote retweeted an image that was used in the video with the first line in the video, and my epic Twitter followers were able to quote the entire video in the replies of the tweet one line at a time. You can't make this stuff up. Fried Chili Cheese Dogs does have other plush videos like the Space Jam one, which is hilarious, but at this point I think you get the idea of how they work, so go check them out if you want. And with that, I believe that's finally it from me. there is the history and chaotic lore of plush tubing. I've been recording for over an hour now. I'm on page number 9 of the script. And this is gonna be one long-ass video. Definitely go check out any of these channels if they look interesting to you. Or hell, go make your own plush videos. I'm not your dad. And if you've made it this long, please smash that subscribe button. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it took me a really long time to make this video, and I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot. And I hope you guys are susceptible to these kind of videos on a more regular basis. Since I'm gonna be completely honest, Sonic is sort of running out of steam for me. I still enjoy the videos of Sonic I put out, it's just I'm running out of things to talk about with him. So I hope to pivot into more general topics like this that go into more internet lore and all that kind of stuff. And I can inform you guys on the wacky world of internet lore and the world around it. If you have any more deep dives you want me to go into, please leave a comment explaining so. So I guess that's it for me. Have a good one and bye-bye. I'm just imagining Logan's kid when she goes to school. It's gonna be like, your dad's Super Mario Logan. His classmates are gonna want kids' autograph, Jesus Christ.